achievement worth celebrating is usually dependent upon goal setting. The set goal is hinged on the targets of the agenda setter. For example, it is the desire of the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, ODIRS, to break its revenue records every year. By doing this, the revenue hub of the Sunshine State is consistently advancing the frontiers of development in the state. Welcome to Pay Your Tax. My name is Tayelulu Oladuti. On this edition of Pay Your Tax, our talking point is setting goals to meet revenue targets for sustainable development. A newly minted associate member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, is my guest. You will meet him very shortly. Stay with us.
My name is Tolu Adegbe, Executive Chairman, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. I want to thank the good people of Ondo State for paying your tax, and I want to encourage those who are not paying to pay their taxes. Schools are being renovated, new ones are being built, we have new hospitals being built, we have plans to do even more infrastructure, we have industries coming into the states, and then of course we have the roads that we can all see. These taxes are being used for things that will benefit the people of Ondo State. I want to thank you all, and I can assure you that in Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, we continue to make the tax payment process very easy, very convenient, and very smooth for everyone. Thank you for paying your tax. God bless us all.
You are heartily welcome back. At the 47th induction ceremony of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, 9 staff of ODIRS were inducted as associate members. While rejoicing with the inductees and their families, we congratulate ODIRS and the Akure District Society of CITN. And so, on Pay Your Tax today, one of the associate members of CITN is my guest. He is the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Revenue, Mr. Femi Feyide. You are welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
May we know how you feel making it through?
Well, firstly, of course, I'm quite ecstatic and happy about that achievement. I mean, like you mentioned, along with my colleagues at the ODIRS, I think there were about 7 or 8 of us, nine of us that were inducted. And I think for us, it's a recognition of a couple of things. First of all, I'll start individually. It's a recognition of the hard work we've put in to try to achieve and get that associateship. Secondly, we recognize the support Ondo State Internal Revenue Service has also given us, because it's part of what drives them in their staff development, is to ensure that every staff of Ondo State Internal Revenue Service is qualified in any specific industry segment association that they belong to, and the benefits are inherent. Apart from the individual benefits, it's a industry specific certification that we're getting. So you don't just go there and you get it. You actually go through a process. You read, you're trained, you're tested, and of course you're given knowledge. And what that gives you is that confidence to operate within that industry or that industry segment which you're operating. CITN, as you know, is the foremost umbrella agency for taxation in Nigeria. So to get that recognition from them, for them to certify us, is indeed one step ahead. Secondly, knowledge base, our knowledge in terms of taxation, the way and manner to go about operating in taxation environment has been increased. We're now a member of a unique group of individuals, so networking is also there, and then of course there's the acceptance. And like I said, myself and my colleagues, when we joined the organization, we set it upon ourselves that 1, 2, 3 years we wanted to get that certification,
and you get it.
We got it, and it's just the beginning of the process. There's still fellowship,
which
we want to get before we leave, definitely. And that will put us at the fulcrum of that.
Can we have an insight into how ODIRS will benefit from your membership of CITN?
I talked about industry specific knowledge. And the idea here is that we as members of Ondo State Internal Revenue will be able to apply the knowledge we have acquired to support the organization in supporting the state in revenue growth. Taxation is not just about collecting money.
Yes.
There are so many other variables about it, that we have acquired this knowledge that we will impart on our subordinates, we will impart on our colleagues, we will impart on the organization, we will impact on the states, and the idea is that state goals, Ondo State internal revenue goals, will be met and surpassed based on the knowledge that we have acquired. And then, of course, there are certain trends in the industry that are reviewed, that come up year in, year out. We will be abreast of those trends, and we can also impose it on our organization to be able to utilize.
Okay, now to the focus of today. What do you think are reasons for setting goals?
Well, any forward thinking or progressive organization, even an individual, you would need to set goals. Okay. It's a standard by which we live. In fact, that's just put it. It's a standard by which individuals, anything that breathes, any organization, you want to set goals consistently. Goals enable you. Before you set a goal, you will review.
Okay.
You will look at what you have done in the past. You will look at your mistakes. You look at your positives. You look at your environment, and then you will now set goals. So either to sustain, to improve, or to widen or expand. So it's important that you set goals because it gives you a target. It aids your growth. And then because goals are measurable, within the specific period which you set the goals for, you can also measure little by little by little by little. And that is really what we call stepwise progression. On a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, you can progress within your goals. And then you can measure yourself. And then, of course, it gives you a target and it's good for growth.
Mr. Feyide, why does setting goals by organization is usually an exercise for the first quarter of each year?
Each year. The term there is each year.
Yes,
and
each year. We have some years that start with maybe January, July.
Exactly.
Okay, so
because a year is a periodic period.
Yes.
For the academic year, it will start in September. For the medical year, it might start, for the financial year, for most organizations and entities, they go by the financial year, which is January to December, which is where we are included in, because we're talking about finance, monetary related goals for like Ondo State internal revenue and the state.
So it starts from January to December.
And it's important you start from at the beginning, because it's a periodic thing. You want to assess yourself, you want to measure yourself, and you want to have a time when at the end, like I said, you can review. There's some goals that they call strategic goals, and they're like 5-year strategic goals, and then they break it down into interim years. But it's important that at the beginning of every process, which is the year, start your goal, set out your goals, define your goals, provide areas of how you and tools of how you will monitor your goals. And then at the end of the year, you review and look back and use that to build for the next year. So it's important to set your goals at the beginning of a process. And that's where the year comes in.
Okay. Mr. Feyide is a senior special assistant to the governor of Ondo State on revenue. We'd like to go on a short break now, and when we return, we continue with the program. Kindly stay with us.
Hooray! Payment of taxes and rates is now made easier and simpler in Ondo State through the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. One-stop shop model tax stations in 2 different locations in Akure, the state capital. Visit Oyemekun tax station within the premises of Wema Bank PLC on Oyemekun Road, Akure, or visit Alagbaka tax station within the premises of UBA PLC, Alagbaka, Akure, to pay your taxes and rates into Ondo State designated revenue accounts without any stress. For further inquiries, call the following number: 0188397000 or 09284770004, or send WhatsApp messages to this number 08104864804. Contact us at ODIRS.ng or info@odirs.ng. Also, chairman at ODIRS.ng. Our website is www.odirs.ng. Pay your tax as tax brings development. Ondo State Internal Revenue Service announcer.
Glad to have you back. And today we are discussing setting goals to meet revenue targets for sustainable development in Ondo State. And the senior special assistant to the governor of Ondo State on revenue, Mr. Femi Feyide, is very much around. Mr. Feyide, let's continue with the program. Before we went on break, there's this question I wanted to ask, that one of your goals for year 2022 was the launch of ODIRS website. How did you feel about the launch and the fact that the website design is homegrown?
Okay. Embedded in that one of the goals, a multiple number of goals, which I will talk about.
Okay.
But first and foremost, we felt with high sense of achievement because, like you said, it was a goal set for 2022. Beyond it being a goal set for 2022, even when this organization was being set up, the process was also a goal set up for.
Okay.
That we would achieve and create our own website, that it would be done by our own staff, which we call powered by ODIRS.
Okay.
And of course,
not outsiders.
Not outsiders.
Okay.
And of course, there's this capacity building which we have embarked upon. We train our staff. In fact, our selection process, we selected the most highly qualified generally. And then, of course, we go specifically into each department. Just like I've got my CITN certification.
Okay.
We certify them in their own areas of professionalism. And our IT group was also selected that way. And the idea was that within a specific period of time, they would be able to meet the needs, ICT-related needs of Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. Not only repairing hardware and all those things, but even writing software, writing products and programs that will be suitable and beneficial to the organization. And that is why the launching of the website was unique for us and a very triumphant day, because it was powered by our staff. It's a unique website. It's one of the very, very best around. And you know that our website is our loudspeaker.
Yes.
And it's also an avenue for people to communicate with us. So
get feedbacks.
Definitely. And it has impacted positively on our business and on our revenue drive. So we feel very, very proud of that achievement. We feel more proud of the department and the gentlemen and ladies that did this, and it was one of our highlights this year.
Okay, ODIRS hosted several meetings in this outgoing year, but the JTB training program for Southwest State was unique.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Definitely, I agree very much, because when you're recognized by your colleagues and also by your umbrella agency, it means a lot to you. We didn't lobby to host, JTB was actually the one that called upon us.
Joint
Tax Board from Abuja. They called upon us and said they wanted to host the Southwest Forum and training in Akure, largely because the recognition or they've been reviewing us, they've been seeing us, they've been seeing the progressive steps. And then, of course, the environment, they knew we had the infrastructure, the setup, we could cater for the whole of the Southwest. And then again, you have to give the state kudos. Ondo State has become a hub. Of course, transportation coming to Ondo State was easy for them. We have an airport, you have 4 or 5 flights coming in daily. So the logistics was there, it was conducive, and it was an area they felt it didn't matter whether they did it in Abuja, Lagos, or out of the country, they will get that same standard in Ondo State. So for us, it's a recognition by our umbrella agencies that we are doing well, we're walking the right path, we're putting the right infrastructure in place. Beyond the numbers, the other things are also in place, and we're also progressing in those areas. So it meant a lot to us, and we thank God the training went successfully.
So to us, training and retraining of your staff is the stamina with which goals are actualized.
Yes.
May we know your reactions about this?
Well, till we die, we will continue to learn.
Till
we all die, we will continue to learn, of course. And learning is involved, training is involved in learning, And like I said, we hired a very, very competent and brilliant set of staff, and it's important that we continue to train them continuously, to refine them, to inspire them that even individually they can target themselves for better heights, and also to impact the knowledge of taxation upon them. So we started our training. We first did a general type of training, soft skills, mannerisms, how to answer the phone and all that. And then we now progressed specifically to professions. We have drivers, they have their own training. We have accountants, they have their own training. We have ICT people, they have their own training. We have management, even those that are going to retire, already training them for retirement. You know, so there's a fulfillment that is there. There's a value addition to each one of them, and it makes our job easier. You know, because they add that to the job they do.
Yes.
The state benefits, the country benefits. You know, and definitely it's an integral part of our system. The hall which we built was specifically, in fact, short of calling that place a training school, because because there's no time in a year that there's no diet, there's no training diet that is not ongoing. You know, for all our staff, internal people come in and train, external people come in and train. So knowledge is always being impacted. We always continue to impact, and we always continue to refine ourselves. You know, and understand. Yes.
Okay. We stated earlier that on the program that your commitment to increase revenue collections each year are reasons why there are sustainable developments across Ondo State. Do you agree about this too?
Definitely. What we do aids the state in development, and you can look over the period of this current regime led by Arakuni Odunayo Akeredolu that development has been sustained. You haven't had a drop. You know, year in, year out, they've been able to surpass what they did in the previous year in terms of development. And why is that so? Because the critical mass is there. You are sure that a certain amount of naira or quantum of funds is coming in because your revenue drive is also on stream. You know, and that is the idea. It trickles up. We do our own bits. Every aspect of the financial cycle for the state, or the financial source for the state, meets its own demand. Then the executive can be assured that development can be sustained. And I'm sure you're seeing the impact all over the state.
Setting goals to meet revenue targets for sustainable development is our topic on Pay Your Tax today. And the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on Revenue, Mr. Femi Feyide, is still very much around. We'd like to go on a short break, and when we return, we continue with the program. To stay with us.
Finally, a big relief is here for taxpayers in Ondo State. Without an express payment of all taxes, charges, fees, and fines are now made easier through the banks approved by the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. Access Bank, First Bank, Polaris Bank, Union Bank, UBA, Wema Bank, Unity Bank, and Zenith Bank. Others are Stanbic IBTC, Kickstone, Guaranteed Trust Bank, Fidelity Bank, FCMB, EcoBank, and Sterling Bank. Pay to the banks directly. Don't give your cash to anyone. For further inquiries, call the following numbers: 01-8839-7000 or 09-284-77004, or send WhatsApp messages to this number: 08104864804. Contact us at ODIRS.ng or info@ODIRS.ng. Also, chairman at ODIRS.ng. Our website is www.odirs.ng. Pay your tax, as tax brings development. Ondo State Internal Revenue Service announcer.
Glad to have you back. And you're still on Pay Your Tax. Mr. Feyide, some people believe that ODIRS has a lot of strategies that now dignify the tax-paying public, which they see as insensitives for them, like the past jackboot approach that's ODIRS used to, how to collect money from the taxpayers. Okay, may we have your comments now on how these taxes are being collected? Okay.
If you look at our vision and mission statements, there's a segment there that talks about changing the tax narratives in Ondo State.
Changing the tax
narratives, yes. And it's not about really revenue generation, but it's about the taxpayers. You know, they're very valuable to us. They're very important to what we do as a business and as a state. And it's important that they're given that recognition in our planning, and what we have tried to do is make the process of tax payment easy and conducive for them. The enlightenment for them is very important and very key to us. That's why we have certain programs 3-4 times a year, enlightenment programs, which each tax-paying segment of the state we go to, we talk to them. There's no tax venture or new scheme that we will embark upon, that we will not sensitize or talk to any relevant tax-paying segment, to let us know, understand their cash flow, understand what is tough for them, so that we can suit the tax payment for them to meet their needs. Then, of course, responsiveness.
Okay.
We need to be responsive to them. We have a full-fledged
taxpayers.
Yes, we have a full-fledged contact center. I spoke about the website, so they can communicate to us. They can talk about issues that they have. If they have paid their tax and they haven't received their receipt, they can ask us questions, and within 24 to 48 hours maximum, we will respond to them. So it is important. We took the taxpayer as priority in any developmental goal that we want to do, because without them, that revenue will not come in.
Yes.
And then transparency is very important. And then, of course, our ICT process is seamless, is on 24/7, and then, of course, we have to let them know about the process. As you pay your tax, where you can go to get your receipt. If you want to get your tax certificate, if you go to our website, you can apply for virtually everything on our website. You can read all the governing laws that support every tax portion every tax segment that we are collecting. So like I said, transparency and communication is very vital to them, and we made sure that the taxpayers' needs are met, and any area that will create any anxiety for them is also met.
Okay. So as we begin to round off, can you reflect on the ODIRS Community Impact Project and the effects on meeting your target goals?
Okay. We have embarked over the past 2-3 years on certain community type impact programs for the taxpayers out of our own widow's mite as an organization, and it's just to recognize, and to let those people know that we have them in mind. We recognize what they have also done, in paying their taxes. Over the past 2-3 years, we've been grading roads in various locations.
Across the state.
Across the state. And then we've recognized certain areas too. There are certain schools that we bought generators for, certain hospitals or clinics that we funded or supported, in those areas. And of late, we've also recognized a segment of the transporters, the Okada drivers and riders, who have been very, very key, very, very cooperative, with us over the last 2 years. And we've been doing some raffles and giving out year-end prizes to all of them to show our appreciation for what they have done. And like I said, you talked about goals. All these were embedded in our goals at the beginning of the year, that at the end of the year, we will also do this to give back to the community, to give back to the taxpayers, and to let them know that we have valued their contribution for that year. And we look forward for more in the years to come. Yes.
So I doubt if there is any reason for which a taxable adult in Ondo State can now say is a reason not to pay his or her tax.
I don't think there's any reason why not, especially when we have created that access. You can come in, you can ask questions, you can find out what is being done, and you can understand the process.
I would like to congratulate those new inductees. That is the ODIRS CITN inductees and members associates, Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. I would like to say congratulations to them and their family, and the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State is right here. Congratulations to you,
Thank
sir.
You very much.
Once again,
Thank you.
Mr. Olufemi Feyide, and also to others. Congratulations to Akinrogunde Sheo, Madam Mosie Kuduz, Olanrewaju, Omotoye Anthony Oluwabumi, Oladoja, Oladotun, Adebesin, Adekemi, Alasan, Musbel, Aded Ayodeji, Adebisi, Oluwatoye Catherine, and Olatujoye Omotayo. Congratulations to all of you. From all the members of Pay Your Tax, we say congratulations once again. Dear viewer, that's all we can take on today's edition of Pay Your Tax. We'd like to appreciate the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on Revenue, Mr. Femi Feyide, for coming on the program today. Thank you so much. And we hope next time when we call on you, you will definitely oblige us.
You can count on that. Thank you very much.
Next week, we will be here again with another interesting topic, and by His grace, with another edition of Pay Your Tax. So stay with us, same time, same station. My name is Taye Lulu Oladusi. On behalf of our executive producer, Tolu Adegbe, God bless you. God bless ODIRS. God bless Ondo State and God bless Nigeria. It pays when you pay your tax.